As a result, the Congress of Vienna met sometime between September of 1814 and June of 1815. Their goal was to restructure the continent of Europe. Unfortunately, nearly the entire continent had been taken as spoils from Napoleon's military campaigns. The following year, Napoleon escaped from Elba and returned to power. His reign lasted for a very brief period, known as the 100 Days. Napoleon was finally defeated by the Allied forces under the command of the Duke of Wellington at the Battle of Waterloo. He was sent into exile again, this time to St. Helena, where he died in 1821. In 1830, the July Revolution occurred. This middle-class uprising raged for 3 days. The people of France were reacting to attempts by King Charles X to revert back to an absolute monarchy. Charles abdicated his throne and fled. Despite the citizens' clamor for a republic, the Duc d'Orléans was proclaimed to be a limited constitutional monarch and became known as Louis Philippe. In the same year, Delacroix painted Liberty Leading the People, an example of realism combined with allegory. The personification of liberty is depicted bearing a tricolor flag, leading combatants through a corpse-littered barricade. Louis-Philippe himself acquired the work when it was shown at the Paris Salon in 1831. In 1848, the February Revolution overthrew the Duc d'Orléans' rule. The French Second Republic was established. Brutally suppressed by the army, in late June of 1848, class riots broke out throughout the working districts of Paris. As a result, the 1848 Year of Revolutions had a profound effect upon contemporary artists. Jean-Louis Massenet depicted the tragic casualties of the uprising in his painting Memory of Civil War. In 1848, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte was elected president of the French Second Republic. He was the nephew and heir of Napoleon I. But in 1851, a proposed constitutional amendment failed, which would have allowed this president to serve for more than one term. Louis Napoleon mobilized a military coup d'etat, which resulted in the fall of the French Second Republic. In the year 1852, Louis Napoleon ascended the throne as Napoleon III. He ruled as Emperor of the French Second Empire until 1870. His defeat and disastrous surrender at the Battle of Sedan ushered in the French Third Republic. Louis Napoleon, aka Napoleon III, holds the unusual distinction of being both the first president and the last monarch of France. In 1854, American Commodore Matthew Perry and the Tokugawa shogunate concluded the Kanagawa Treaty, which opened up Japan. Shortly thereafter, Japanese goods such as furniture, decorative objects, textiles, and prints became widely available in Europe. The affluent bourgeoisie avidly collected these products. This newly emerging middle class included artists such as Edouard and Claude Monet. Also included were writers such as Baudelaire, Edmond and Jules de Goncourt, and Émile Zola. The Japanese visual arts, especially block prints, exerted a profound influence on contemporary French artists, authors, and composers. In 1872, the critic and collector Philippe Berthet used the term Japonisme to refer to this widespread cultural phenomenon. In 1863, the Salon des Refusés was established for the exhibition of works rejected by the Paris Salon's jury. The Paris Salon rejected more than half of the submissions for 1863. Rejections included paintings by Cézanne, Pissarro, Whistler, and Edouard Manet. Manet's painting, Olympia, stirred up a scandal. The composition recalls Titian's Venus d'Urbino, where a nude female figure reclines on a couch. Olympia exemplifies a French courtesan who aggressively engages the viewer's glance. Olympia illustrates the darker side of the new French bourgeoisie lifestyle, arousing critical disgust coupled with claims of indecency and vulgarity. In 1870, the Franco-Prussian War broke out. The French were defeated, ending the reign of Napoleon III. The French Third Republic was established. The following year, a socialist commune was set up in Paris. Gustave Courbet was an active participant in commune politics. He led a commission for the protection of artistic monuments. After the commune was overthrown, Courbet was accused of ordering the demolition of the Vendôme column, a symbol of Napoleonic rule. He was imprisoned and declared responsible for the column's restoration. Courbet fled to Switzerland shortly after his release in 1873. He lived there in exile until his death in 1877. So how does all this history affect the development of our two artists and French Impressionism? All of these revolutions created a core animosity against the French government, no matter what form it took. This animosity included disgust for the romantic painting style of the previous century, which idolized the reigning court. 19th century Europe saw the birth of the Industrial Revolution, which included James Watt's steam engine. The newly industrialized Paris resulted in smoke and ash covering everything. In order to escape the drudgery and environmental horror of Parisian industry, the French bourgeoisie escaped to the countryside on Saturdays and Sundays. And voila, the birth of the weekend. With this newly acquired free time, French Impressionists found a wealth of new artistic inspiration.